It's nothing that's a saving in a house on fire. Could you stay a while?
Welcome everybody to Three Different Dads, a very infrequent show where we get together and talk about whatever we want to talk about. Guys, how's it going?
Good, man. Life gets in the way sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, this do we want to make money? Sure. Do we want to make money that much? Apparently not. So we're good. Plus I feel like we'll never make money doing this, so we got to just be happy with us three listening and maybe friends here or there also listening. So all right, I feel fine with it.
I'm cool with it.
I'll tell you the one person who does not feel fine with it is George.
It's George. George has his demands of weekly episodes, and we've failed him lately. So
he just said he'll just text me, no new episode. Sorry, man, it just didn't work out. But it's good to have a fan, so that's nice.
That is,
yeah. So an early thanks, George. So
thanks, George.
Guys, we've been gone for quite some time. I was looking on our page, and we haven't put an episode out in about a month. So what do we
right on schedule?
I don't know.
Originally this was monthly, so
it was
going back to our roots.
You're right, man. You're right. That was the last Sunday of every month we'd sit and record and throw it on the Nerdball podcast feed. Now
you could have said any day of the week, been like every second Tuesday we'd always get together and record. I would be like, yep.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And now we're do you know how many episodes we've done? Which is kind of astounding to me.
30,
40, 45.
This will be our 38th episode. Although I did put it in the title of the podcast of the Zoom, so apparently you guys didn't pay attention.
Must have missed that. I just clicked the link.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Though. We completely split the difference there.
Yeah, that was good. Take an average, do some quick math. Yeah, here you go.
Good job, us.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Jim? I'll give you one of these right here.
Yeah, let me give him one too.
Yeah, little party hat.
Good job, Jim. Thumbs up.
I would just tell Tyler. I was like
myself.
Yeah, I was messing with these things. I was like, man, I wish it would make noise. I think that'd be cool. But I guess people would get really annoyed if they're trying to like hold a meeting and people are just like continuously clapping.
Yeah.
All right, Jim or Tyler. What we used to have like remember when we used to start the podcast, we're like, all right, here's the news, and then we like go through it, and like we actually had segments and that kind of stuff. And we're back to our roots of timing wise, but what it's funny, we're almost 40 episodes in, and I don't think we have a thing.
I tried to produce the show a little bit.
You did. You sent us a list.
Someone has to, or else we go off the rails quick.
Yeah, the episode that did not get put out. Oh, my head hurts from laughing already. All right, so we'll just start off the top. Tyler, how was your summer? I know the big thing for you is you're moving. Are you in your house now?
I'm in the new house. So nice. This is my new office space. The line behind me is not all that great.
Oh yeah. Who painted that?
That's a question.
Well,
hand raised.
Hand raised. So yesterday I came in here because I'm going to change the color, and whoever painted it previously, the previous owner, like their line was like just horrible. So
yeah.
I took ceiling white and I went over their line, so that way I can then go back once I paint this color and clean it right up. So
well, are you allowed to pick colors? Sorry, Jim. I know you.
I am. Yes, okay. I've successfully picked, I think, 2 of the 3 colors we've implemented in the house.
Did you do the bathroom?
Yes, the Dove was my call.
That looked very nice.
It was very nice. Yeah, that was a very blue bathroom.
Yes.
Yeah, that was too much blue, way too much blue. So that was a horror story in itself. So that was now 2 Fridays ago. Heather took it upon herself to start painting said bathroom with the color we both, that Dove color. And I was still working. So it was probably about 2:30 when she got home, 3 o'clock. She started painting. I worked till 5. I went down there and she had it pretty much all painted. And she's just like, this bathroom, it's a bitch, because every paint stroke I make, it just like goes right. Like it's not, the paint isn't adhering. She said that and I was like, oh God. Cause like I immediately thought to myself, I'm like, this blue was not only very blue, but it was also very glossy.
Mm.
So I was like, fuck, I didn't think of this, but it's probably high gloss. And so the paint at that point, she had, all 4 walls done. She was just basically finish up the trim. And I said, watch this. And I took my fingernail and I just go, and all of the paint she just painted just peeled right off, like no effort, just painted right off. And then I said, and then so she walks away in disgust. And then I just go like this, and just sheets of paint just come right off the wall. And then lo and behold, the high gloss blue is behind it again. So needless to say, that was not a fun experience. Even though it was a paint and primer in one, when it's high gloss, lesson learned, you got to actually use a really good primer. So we got gripper or something along the lines of like a gripper paint. Did 3 coats of gripper paint on that blue shit and then repainted it again. So that was a fun experience.
Was it your fault?
I won't blame either of us, honestly.
Okay.
It's just something that neither of us really thought about, I think, in the moment, because we, they tell all the sales now, it's like, oh, paint and primer in one. So that's all you hear.
Yeah.
And it's also, that was my first experience, I think, trying to paint over high gloss. I've never had an instance of painting over high gloss before, which I don't know why they use ridiculously high gloss, because it's just a bathroom, and it's a half bath. So it's not like super like moisture, like from a shower or a steam shower or anything like that. So I was like, what the hell? So that was an experience, but we've painted several rooms, getting the house ready. Yeah.
Are you finding any surprises? Like, I'm assuming, I mean, everyone has home inspection, so I'm assuming you have a home inspection.
Yep. Home inspection was good.
Just take my question. That's great. That's great.
No, home inspection was good. The surprises are all positive surprises, because this is my first like newer construction built house. So by newer, it was built in 2013. So I'll give you an example. Every house I owned previously, or condo, whatever, when I would go to like take off the wall plates for the electrical so you could paint around it, I never saw insulation like anywhere around the electrical, because like houses in the 60s, if they had insulation, it was like minimal. And my old house and the old condo were both built in the 60s. Toilets, so I've replaced now one toilet here, gonna do the second one today here. So like same thing, you take off the old toilet, and in the old houses they were like cast iron, like flanges at the base, always all rusted out, and you're just like, God, I hope this toilet holds, and just cross your fingers. And yeah, but the new one, you take it off and it's all like PVC plastic. So all good surprises, like, and
Nice.
Again, not surprises, just like good things that I'm like, oh, I don't have to deal with like rusted out flanges and all this other stuff, stupid stuff. So
Then
we're going well.
If this isn't the perfect dad podcast stuff, I don't know what is.
Oh yeah, I don't know
We're
what it
nailing
is. This is gold.
Does it piss you off when you watch like TikTok people or Instagram people like painting rooms, and they're just like can do like a room in like no time? They're just like, oh, just free bit, like just use your hand, use this little tool, and it you don't have to tape anything. I'm like, that's so much bullshit.
I will say I'm getting really good at painting lines. So
Evidence behind you.
Yep,
I keep saying that's not my line. It'll
I
be nice and clean next time. No, this freehanding lines, because like if you have a good like wall joist, or butts up against one another, like you can freehand it pretty easily. You just use slanted brush. I don't know what it's called, but
sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I've been when I worked at UT, there was I would sometimes have to help painters every once in a while, but like to see the professional painters just just go and just like I was like, wait, you guys don't tape anything? Like, no, we're good, and like go around everything and go trim everything. I'm like, oh my god, it's kind of satisfying to watch, you know.
Yeah, they're probably 1,000 times faster than I am. Don't get me wrong. Like what I'm doing, I'm like really slowly going, and I've seen professionals just go like to Jim's point, but yeah, it's
Dude,
been
so
going well.
one time, when we first bought our first home before kids or anything else, right? Like Andrew was gone for like 3 days, and she had wanted to like we had talked about painting the office, and it had like 12-foot ceiling. Like it was a big office. Like it was a 1-story house, but the office just had these like higher ceilings. And I'm like, okay, when she's gone, I know the paint color that she said she liked, and
no.
I'm gonna go ahead and paint this thing. Um, it I had the paint color. I messed something up in it. It was like a super turquoise, bright ass blue, and I started to commit, and I'm like, man, this doesn't look good at all. I'm like, that's what she said she wanted, and I proceeded to paint. Like I had to rent a truck from Home Depot that I could get like an extended ladder and like all this shit so I could get to the top of like this area. I get about 90% of the way done and she comes home and she's like, what is this? So, anyways, I ended up
Did you
hiring a painter, and they came out and repainted over that, and we picked a completely different color
I
altogether.
say, how off was the color? That's what
It was very like she likes very like neutral colors,
yeah.
grays, and all this other stuff, and this was straight turquoise. This would have been like if I had a 7th grade girl in like 1994, 95 who decided to paint their room on a whim. This is like the bright aqua color that would have came through. Thanks for the laugh. So yeah, that's my experience. And ever since then, just at the time I was working at the bank and doing stuff, and there was a bunch of people that would have rent houses that would come in all the time, and so they just hooked me up with one of their painters and was like, this dude will paint a room for like $100. I was like, done. Yes. Can they come yesterday? So yeah, ever since then
so no more surprise paint jobs for you.
No.
All right.
No. My daughter's
did
we're
you
gonna have to
did
paint
you
my daughter's room soon, and I'm not looking for I won't be doing that.
did you blame Andrea for this debacle of
I threw the text messages at her
oh
that
okay.
she's like,
This is your fault.
yeah. And she's like, I didn't win. It was my fault at the end.
Oh, because you didn't
But
stop too soon.
hey, hell of a gesture.
Yes, it was very.
It's the
I
thought.
could've-
It is
like
the thought.
I
that
was
counts.
up till like 4 a.m. with this damn ladder because I was like, well, I get it for a day, and trying to trim, like do all like the like Tyler's line and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
did you get a good? Thank you so much. Hard work, but no.
yes, that's exactly pretty much what it was. So
All right.
yeah. So
It's the thought that counts, Jim. Good
I
job.
don't have anything to do with picking colors or any of that stuff. I just help paint. I did make a decision. We have two different, so it's a lot of gray in our house. I have there's two different grays in the living room. We were trying to figure out like where one gray stops because there's like a support beam running through our living room. So we're like, all right, well, what side are we painting this? And that was about all the decisions I made. Well, let's do this gray on this side and this gray on the other side. Good, perfect. All right, thank you.
So we took when we moved into this house, we were watching a lot of Modern Family at the time, and the staircase that goes up in Modern Family, like below it, it's like this. It's a very vibrant blue, I guess. Like it's, I don't know. So that ended up being the blue in our dining room. So it looks nice. I would have never have even thought to have tried it, but my wife was like, "Hey, look at this! Like I found this. She's like, do you like the way this house looks?" And it was the inside of Modern Family house or whatever. And I'm like,
Uh,
yeah, that looks. I mean, it looks fine. I
I feel
would
like
have
I know
never
this house.
uh of decided to go with any of these different color combinations, but yeah, no, I like more neutral stuff. I feel like that was very much like our parents where like the deep reds or the like crazy like or green, like, hey, we need to paint the dining room and we're gonna do like this super dark like green or red or what, and like you see it a lot of times on these houses that are for sale now where it's just like, okay, and the room looks so it makes it look so small too. Like
Mhm.
yeah. My
uh
parents or my dad, and when we lived in Saddlebrook, painted a big orange stripe in our kitchen. I don't know if you guys remember or not, but it's just like basically our backsplash was just orange. I think it had to do with more being us being Mexican than anything else, but that's just. He also liked Fiesta wear, and we had a bunch of orange Fiesta wear at the time. So, and um, I don't know. I don't. I would like.
I had
Maybe I should
Fiesta
ask
wear.
him. I should ask him like why he did that. It's probably just like because I like orange. I'm like, all right, I
it's not a
guess.
look, it's a lifestyle.
It is.
So
They have since collected more Fiesta wear. It's just now it's different colors. My dad said he
there you
likes all
go.
the different colors and not just one. So they're broadening their horizons here.
Broadening their Fiesta wear
Yeah,
horizons.
yeah. Jim, you and our buddy, I would say friend of the show, but I don't think he's listened to one episode. You and our buddy Trey took a road trip to Ohio. Um, I don't know if besides us meeting in Dallas and driving 3 hours to Austin, I don't know if there's ever been a case where we were in the car for more than 4 hours. Because we also I believe we went to OU one time too.
yes,
But we were
that
also
was
we were
scary.
also we were also children. So
Yes, that Tyler and
That
I
was,
we
that
drove
was
to DC once together, and that's about a 7-8 hour drive.
mhm.
But this is Trey and I made the track when I moved down to Texas one way. But yeah, man, we woke up, we decided that we were going to drive. And going there was relatively smooth, left, like early, like 5 a.m., got there around 10 p.m. On the way back, we hauled ass. Like we only stopped for gas, and at gas, we were like, oh, essentially there's a Subway. Hey,
Yeah.
do you want to eat here? No, we'll eat in the car, which is Subway sounds like a good idea when you're on a road trip, but it's very difficult to drive and eat that without making a mess because all
Yeah.
good subs are a little bit messy there. So, a word to the wise there. But man, we were cruising through. We got to Texarkana, like really good time. And then all of a sudden, he's like, my tire pressure. I'm losing a lot of tire pressure
Oh shit.
in my back. So I was like, okay. And so we pull off to the gas station. I'm like, well, let's fill this thing up with air and see if that fixes the problem. And Trey and I know nothing about cars. I've traveled with Trey a couple times. We've called AAA to jump his car because he left his wife's car. Lights on one time when we stayed at a hotel when we had our wives with us. Going back to Ohio once,
Can
and
you so you said you called AAA for that. Do you know how to jump a car?
I do, like, I understand the premise of it, like negative to negative, positive to positive, do the
Yeah.
same on the other side, and
Yeah.
then it scares the shit out of me. I don't want to get electrocuted. Like it's you have so much voltage going through these things, and it's just like I don't trust these. I don't trust myself.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we pull over to this gas station, and sun's starting to go down. And it's like, all right, well, let's figure this out. It's Sunday evening. Um, Gas station. For some reason, I had a $2 bill in my wallet that I've had for a long time. To
It's
pump gas
probably because the grandparent gave it to you. That's how you get those.
it was $2. In this place did not have an ATM, and they did
But
not do debit card like cash
wait,
back.
wait to get air. You mean?
Yes, to
Okay.
get air.
Okay. All right.
So I'm like, shit. And so fortunately, I was like, what? And then I was like, I think, and then I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. This place also, this gas station, I think might be the leading gas station for all things for if you need your Trump 2024 hats or flags.
Okay. All right.
They had a lot of stuff there. So we get there and I walk out and I have a stack of quarters now. Trey's like, yeah, air's not going to do it. And as soon as I go to the back, like you could hear the screw and air just going out. So yeah, we proceeded to change a tire.
Have you? I was waiting for that. Have either of you or Trey, changed a tire before?
Trey said he did it a long time ago.
Okay.
I did
Tyler,
not.
How did it go?
Tyler,
How did it go?
have you changed one
Oh
tire?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
I just
Go,
did
yes.
like a month or two ago. Yeah.
All right.
So I did what anyone would do, and I pulled up YouTube and
Beautiful. All right.
Jeep Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, because I was like, okay, I know this jack is supposed to go on probably like an axle or something strong, like that we can lift the car up and take this thing off. And so we're dicking around on that. Fortunately, the videos is like on the car itself. It's like there's little markings that you put like it was very simple on that. So yeah, we did that and we got it wasn't a donut tire, but it also wasn't like a full size tire.
Okay.
Like the same size tire of like his other ones, right?
Yeah.
Like it was a
Yeah.
good size tire, but it wasn't like a normal one. But the problem with those, I guess, is like you're supposed to only like 50 miles an hour on those.
Yeah. You're not
and
supposed to
there's-
go regular,
or very
drive
far.
regular. Yeah.
We had about 2 hours, 2 hours left, and it was Sunday. It was like Sunday eve. Like we're out in East Texas, and yeah. So we're going. We go for about 10 miles, and he's like, "I'm just going to pull over. Just like let's check this." And I'm like, "Hell yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's just make sure."
I feel like
tight.
I feel like the whole time you're driving with this spare tire on, no one's talking because you're just waiting to like you're like
You're
listening to hear if something's going wrong.
We got super fortunate because Trey took his car in before we left, and whatever happened, his driver's side rear tire warning indicator was just messed up. So the entire ride, it always showed essentially that we only had 3 tires. And this happened to the other tire. Like if this would have happened to the tire on that side, we wouldn't have known until the damn thing popped,
Oh, shit.
essentially.
Yeah. Or you're riding on the rim. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were on the highway that's 70 going 55. Sometimes we're pushing it to 60. We got the windows down. We're just like,
What was that? Wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uneasy as hell, probably.
the nice thing is when you're on your way home or you know where you're going, you're kind of get this sense of like, hey, if we can just make it to this point, then I know like, oh, we're getting closer to like where my in-laws live, where it's only like 20 minutes. If we were to break down here, I could potentially call my father-in-law. We could crash there and get the car fixed in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we go for another 30 minutes. It's like, I've seen these towns before. It would still be a pain in the ass, but we could probably still get help. And we could, like, I knew once you're in it an hour, like, the likelihood that I'm sleeping in my bed tonight is going up higher and higher. And so,
What time of day is this happening, by the way?
so it was sundown. So it was like 8 o'clock. And then we pulled in to my house like around 10:30, 11 o'clock. And then Trey still has another hour from my house.
Jeez.
Because that's
Did he
why I'm
go
like,
home?
I was like, you can crash. He's like, I mean, you're committed already at this point. So the toll roads around here, as much as it's bullshit that you have to pay for where you're driving and they're only supposed to be around until they're paid off and all this other bullshit. The one nice thing they have is if you do break down on them, they will come out and help fix your car essentially. Like they'll tow or do whatever. So he can take the toll road essentially to his house. So he's like, I'm just going to get on the toll road and go. I'm like, okay, just text me when you get like whatever. And an hour 20 later, like got a text that, or I was about to fall asleep. And the hard part was we got home after driving for so long and the adrenaline's just kind of going. And it's not like, oh, I'm going to fall asleep immediately. But after about an hour or so, I text him. He's like, I'm pulling into my street now. I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed. So it was an experience. I learned a couple so he has Sirius radio, XM radio in the car. My wife has it, but I've never listened to it for that long of a duration.
You said it like it was a negative thing.
They play the same, no matter what channel it is. It's like, it was the same, like 10 songs.
Really?
Yeah. Just like over and like, it was like, okay. So
what do you guys, I mean, at some point you guys are talking to each other. Like, what do you guys talk about? That's what I'm interested in. The silence is
we talked about college football
okay.
a lot. I don't know, man. It was.
Did you listen to any episodes of our show?
we did not. We did not. On the way back. So going there, like the last 3 hours, I would say, when we got to Ohio, Trey was starting to get a little stir crazy.
Yeah.
And just like, God, I would just like, let's just fucking be like, this is, I'm like, all right, dude, like chill out. Like it is what it is.
Like if we don't get there soon, I'm going to crash this car, Jimmy.
Yeah. Yeah. And, especially like it had us go a weird way. We didn't get through, like, I don't know if it was traffic or like construction or what. We didn't go into like a major city at all the entire, like until we got to Cincinnati, essentially going to Ohio. On the way back, he's like, hey, I'm gonna have to listen to like a true crime or like some type of like murder podcast or something like that to kind of break this up a little bit, because it is like the same shit over and over again. So
what'd you guys throw on?
Do
you remember? There's a lot of them
it's
out
called
there.
Turning Points or something like that. There's a crazy story of this family that got killed in Indiana.
Okay.
And it's either like the son did it or like the mafia did it, essentially. Because the pastor's dad was like into shady shit from his past life.
I listened to not that, but I know about that story.
Yeah. So it's a pretty crazy story. The problem is I threw on one that was like super, super detailed, and there's like 20 episodes, and they're just going into shit at this point. And it's like, okay, like I know we have a lot of time to kill, but we're just rehashing the same thing over and over again here. So he took a nap. I listened to, I don't know, a little bit of Part of My Take, and then I'm like, I've kind of had enough of Sirius here. I'm just going to throw one. I've got about 3 or 4 more hours for me to drive. I'm just throwing on a Dave concert and rocked out there for a little bit.
So not one time you're like, hey, this episode of Lorenzo interviewing this particular person sounds good. Let's listen. You know what? Fuck you guys. How about that?
I was trying. Here's the problem.
No.
It was all serious the entire way there. Once I started driving on the way home, he took a nap. And so I was just zoning. I was just like, hey,
unbelievable.
Because I wanted to, like, the people that I really wanted to listen to.
Shut the
then you got to find it, and you're driving a car you're not really familiar with. And it's just like, it's safety. Is really.
I mean,
really
you could have thought ahead, pre-downloaded a couple episodes.
I could have.
Yeah.
I could have. That's on me. Next time.
Well, yeah.
Unbelievable.
So you guys are heading up here in a couple of weeks, so that will be next time. So how many?
We're flying.
They're flying.
Yeah. Well, you can get at least 2 or 3 episodes in. So make sure you pre-download.
I'll send you
So
some good
I
ones.
sent Trey a message. So I looked at our flights the other day, and it's like first class upgrade for it was like $80. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh, do it. First
text
class for
Trey, I was like,
$80.
do you have this? And he's like, no, mine's not showing yet. And I was like, okay. It's like, when you get
Just-
it, let me know.
Just leave them behind, dude. Don't even.
Dude, you
ask.
should have just bought it and said, see ya.
Yeah, you don't even. That's since he doesn't listen, we don't have to worry. So seriously,
Be like, boarding
get
group
the
one,
upgrade.
be like,
Yes, get the
peasants.
upgrade. And when they call first class, be like, "Oh, that's not you. Well, I'll see you later," and just walk on the plane. And
Well,
then
our
Dude, that
as
would
he's
be-
walking in Group D, just be like, "Oh, hey Trey, what's
That
up?"
would be hilarious. You're sitting in your seat as he walks by a half hour later.
You already have like a
I have
Jack and Coke in
champagne.
hand, and you're just like, "Oh,
Oh,
Hey,
that would
Trey,
be so
what's up?
good. That
So,
would be so good.
because my thought was too, I was like, hey, like we could get hammered on this flight and this thing will pay for itself easily for the 3 hours or whatever. But I don't want to be sitting next to like
Yeah.
a mom just like keep hitting the call button to give me some more Jack and Coke. So
Or get hammered and eventually you're like, hey, my friend has this podcast. It's called the Nerdball Podcast.
wow, they must be doing really well. You guys travel first? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually a guest on a show. He's flying me out.
Yeah. So we'll see. So Tyler, it's a 50-50 shot because Trey said he's like, well, when I flew to Atlanta a couple weeks ago, they offered him first class for $70. And he's like, let's just kind of hold let's see if this thing goes down at all or if he even gets the offer. So you might be picking us up and we might be just hammered. So
Solid.
What time do I pick you up again? I don't
Like
know if
3
you guys ever
3
sent
o'clock
me
or
the flight
something.
info.
I don't know.
All right. It's
3,
Thursday.
4 o'clock. Yeah.
Thursday? Okay.
Yeah. So
All right.
What
so yeah,
day?
looking forward to that for sure.
What day is that?
Would be the 21st, I think, if it's Thursday, right? Yeah, 21st.
All right. Let me see. So 3 o'clock. Oh man. I got softball practice that day.
What about in the evening though?
It's softball practice starts at 6:30. I might have to have my other coaches deal with that. I was thinking
just
about
cover for one day and you can come out to dinner with us or something.
I was thinking about taking that Friday off of work. But 2 weeks
I'll be
after-
off work.
2 weeks after that, I am going to San Diego. So I don't know if I can take another Friday off. We'll see.
Just try. Just
well,
try.
I am the boss.
We're gonna
so I'll do what I want.
go apple picking on a Friday morning. I
Yeah,
think.
that's the plan.
Full picking.
So Trey and I last time he was here, we went and got donuts at an apple orchard. You know, like we went out to McQueen's just to get donuts in the morning.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
amazing, and we got fresh apple cider too.
All right.
So I
nice,
told the guys, I said we'll go apple picking. Don't worry.
nice little date.
Hey, what's
Good.
your plan, Lorenzo? What's
Good.
your plan Saturday
I don't have any
of
besides
the reunion?
besides the thing in the evening, besides our reunion. Like, what do you mean?
I don't know.
No.
I'm trying to figure this out. They're going to the Michigan game.
Tailgating.
You're not
Tailgating.
Jim?
I believe I am because I'm with them. But I would like other people to go tailgating with that maybe don't want to go to the game, but just like
Just show up and just tailgate and have some beers.
do you
with
have
us, yeah.
do you have any power source in your car?
No, nothing that will drive a TV or something like that. But there's plenty of TVs around. I keep telling you, like
I got
on
a
the golf
generator.
course.
I got a pretty quiet generator, small generator.
There we go.
What time do you guys leave for that?
It's a noon
Early.
kickoff that day,
Yeah.
so it'll open at 7:30 in the morning. So we'll be there at 7:30 in the morning.
I don't know if I can get out of film.
Jim, you will be there at 7:30 in the morning.
So
I
are
don't
you
have
going?
a choice?
Are you going to the game, Jim? Too.
I could give two shits about the game itself. Like they're playing Rutgers. Like
So you're
it's
just-
not going to be thing. Well, last time I went to a Michigan game, and I mean Penn State got their asses kicked, and we probably shouldn't have even gone to the game itself. But it was fun for that 5 minutes. But there's a ton of people that are just out like hanging out on the golf course, eating food and watching other games.
Mhm.
So I have no problem just like,
doing that.
hey, like doing that. I would prefer not to be like solo though. And so like somehow end up getting lost in Ann Arbor by myself and then I'm supposed to make it home.
That sounds.
to-
I mean, that sounds fun. I would probably do that. I don't know if I'm invited, but I'm invited myself right now.
Yeah, you're invited.
Everyone's invited. Everyone's invited.
So who's all going? Just you three, and then me potentially.
Yes.
My uncle
Oh.
will be there with his friends from old friend from college named Stuart, and then a friend from the UK named Vic, and Vic's a badass and he's fun. So
All right.
he's fun to drink with. Good
I had
times
an
will be
idea
had.
and it got shot down so fast because heaven forbid we miss a Michigan
right.
Rutgers game.
That
What was
wasn't so much that I did. So this is why I shot it down.
Wait.
Jim's idea
Time out.
was-
Time out. What's the
Yes,
idea
go ahead.
first? What's the
Okay,
idea?
so
first?
my
I was just
idea
about to
was
say, go ahead.
we get a group of guys,
Mhm.
however many we want to,
Mhm.
and then we go out to Golf Dimensions Saturday morning, like 9 a.m. I just want to we could do 9, we could do 18 even if we wanted to, but just 9. And then we just go play. And if you don't want to play, you caddy for the group or do something and just bullshit and drink. And we have golf carts.
Mhm.
And then after the round, we go to Frickers or we go wherever. And there's a bunch of college football games on. And we just hang out there. We're already in Perrysburg. We don't have to then drive from Ann Arbor to Perrysburg and then get ready or any of this stuff. And we just kind of chill out with the boys. And it could be a large group of people. And we just kind of stagger as they start and just go. And everybody just makes fun of each other and drinks and then play shitty golf. I haven't played golf in probably 10 years.
And what happened? And why was this shot down, Tyler? So fast.
Because Rutgers is playing Michigan.
That was one of
And
the reasons.
Jim Harbaugh, heaven forbid, the T-Max, like the guy's fucking dead, and all their like in memoriam shit that they do all day yesterday or Saturday for
cut
him,
his mic.
like
cut
free
his mic,
Harbaugh,
cut
all
his
this
mic,
type of bullshit
cut his mic.
for a self-imposed. The dude,
The main reason
The
this got
dude-
shot down was we
Yes.
both, Trey and I both said, Jim, do you realize how like tired we will be if we go golfing, even for 9 holes? Because none of us are in shape. Secondly,
carts.
none of us have clubs. I don't think,
Rentals.
and I told Trey, I said, dude, I haven't played golf in 5 to 10 years, similar to Jim. Jim dropped 10 years. I don't think I've played in over 5 years, and that was at a scramble. So that was once. Like I played once in the last probably 10 years.
Yeah, we just
So-
do best teams of 2, best ball. Like we're gonna lose 50 balls anyways. Like you go into it, whatever, and you just tee it high, let it fly, and go. You're telling me we're gonna be more tired playing 9 holes of golf than we are waking up and getting to Ann Arbor at
Yes.
7:30 in the morning, drinking
Yes.
all day in there, and then sitting in the sun.
You don't have to drink all day and sitting in the sun. So late September is not going to be all that bad. It'll probably be 70 something, I guess. If I had to guess, it'll be 70 something.
Hey, if you guys are, if we're looking to not necessarily have to get up that early, drive out to Ann Arbor, watch a terrible, probably terrible football game, we could still tailgate. We could tailgate. We could.
He can't even.
I know you're gonna say
we're not going.
we
We're not
could
going to the
tailgate-
BG
we could
game. We're not
tailgate
going
at-
to the BG game.
No, it's even worse. We could tailgate Saturday morning. The Perrysburg junior varsity football team is at Northview. We could just tailgate
my
out
God.
there.
Cops
watch
should
some
for sure
junior
be called
varsity-
on us.
Junior varsity football.
Could you imagine going wild for like it's all just parents there? Then
We're
there's, like,
painted up.
Yeah, there's just a group of middle-aged guys hammered because they were taking swigs of whatever in the parking lot beforehand.
Sneaking fireball into the stadium.
That was the one request. No fireball.
No fireball.
There can be fireball. You don't have to take a shot at fireball, Jim. It just
I'm retired. Trey seconded the no fireball.
okay. That's all you
Why?
guys.
Why?
That's what I'm saying.
When I
Of
passed
all.
out in the
Okay.
pool.
Yeah.
Fireball
Fireball did you in?
may have had a correlation to me being
How do you feel about
asleep.
how do you feel about gin and tonics in the morning, Jim?
That's disgusting. Gin by itself is probably the worst hard alcohol that there
I'm
is.
trying to taste the juniper plant all day. It's gross.
Those will be flowing early in the morning.
Just high noons, man. Just high noons all day.
High noons, yeah. Topo Chicos. Those are good. Have you tried those? Anybody?
No,
Yes.
Topo Chico hard seltzers are pretty solid.
I
They're
don't.
good.
I don't like any seltzer besides high noon. They're all
So-
salty. So apparently, so the plan is to go to Michigan, tailgate, and come back.
Yeah,
But
I mean it's
I-
not that far. It's an hour drive, like right? It's like what, an
Yeah.
hour drive?
Hour.
I think
In
so.
full
I think, but I think-
transparency, I had committed already to my uncle because again, his friends come in from out of town, and so he's like, "Hey, can you bring the tailgate stuff?" And then after that fact, I had already committed. He said, then I found out that our high school reunion was the same day, and then I immediately was like,
Can I
"Oh,
ask a
God,
question?
Hope it's an early game so I can make this work." So
If it's hypothetically 34 to 3,
as long as my bet is
are we there
covered
for
with the
Mr.
spread-
Brightside, or are we out of there by that time?
As long as my bet is covered spread wise, we can walk out whenever. So I full transparency, I walked out with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter a couple days ago, just 2 days ago, because it was so fucking hot. So
terrible.
it was hot.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
Yeah, you were at
Uh,
Cincy. How was that, by the way?
Dude, that was
fun.
sweet. First of all,
Oh, that
yeah.
did look cool.
First of all, yeah, that was all Lillian. Like that, she got us there because she signed up for it's a band for a day, but she got to be a twirler out there. So we get there, we have to wake up at 6 a.m. or leave by 6 a.m. So we drive down there. Drive's fine. That's not a big deal. And then we get there. We drop the ladies off, and Mateo and I go park. And then she's like, "Yeah, we're on the field. Like, just go to that tunnel, walk through the tunnel, and go on the field." The amount or lack thereof security, like preventing people from going to on a Big 12 football field, is like Mateo and I just walked right in. Walked the whole band.
Did you have any
Nothing.
pass?
Nothing.
No pass.
We had
Nothing.
zero things.
Wow.
We just walked in and we're on the field immediately. And we
So,
walked.
So
Do
no
you-
credential, nothing. Wow.
So this is probably like 2 or 3 years. This is pre-COVID, where the dude from Barstool just bought a jacket, like a blue jacket, and was an usher at Notre Dame, and got like, and just walked into their meet, like they got there early, and then he was like on the field for the entire. It was a big. It was like a night game against somebody.
Yeah.
And they just like it made their they had to like redo all their security stuff because it all got.
I
filmed and how
wonder-
simple it was to get through everything.
Yeah. So yeah,
I remember that
we,
video.
We walked right on there. I'm on the Cincinnati's sideline. No one's there yet. It's all super early in the morning. So that's we watch a practice. We leave. We go eat lunch. I'm Snapchatting with the punter who played at Perrysburg, and we meet there, but we don't go on the field for him. We talk or whatever, take a picture. Then start of the second quarter, they walk us down right to the field. We're just walking. So there was one person that let us down. That person turned to Andrea and was like, "You remember where you practice, right?" And she's like, "Yeah." She goes, "All right, so we're on the north end zone, so we have to go all the way to the south end zone, or whatever direction, whatever the opposite direction is." And she just goes, "All right, well, you go there. I'm going to take the band." So Andrea was leading all of us down the sideline behind the opposing bench.
Was that the video that you posted
Yes,
where you were just like
yes.
walking like 2 feet from the players? I was like, dude, they got really good access. This is
Dude,
awesome.
just down into the quarter. It's hot because the sun is just murdering us. But we watched the whole second quarter from the corner of the end zone, and then halftime comes. Lillian goes out in the field. We move to the other side, then we take off. But I had a thought like about security wise, like maybe it was really lax because they were playing Eastern Kentucky when they play Oklahoma this year in Cincy. So I wonder if it's probably gonna be a little more buckled down for that, but maybe it had to do with the opponent. I don't know.
I bet those things
was-
it's probably confidence wise. Like any of us, if we acted like we're supposed to be there, if we bought like a nice polo, like a team issued polo,
Mhm.
and threw on some khakis and weren't hammered drunk, like you probably could just be like walking right by people left or right. Because I'm assuming too, there's probably a lot of like college kids at some of these places that are like, oh, you're in charge of like this area here,
Yeah,
and they
but
probably just don't want to deal with it.
everybody I saw had these lanyards with giant rectangle passes, and I am in basketball or shorts, black shorts with a long sleeve shirt that says Perrysburg football. My big dad hat, bucket hat, because the sun's
It's
in my
probably the
face.
bucket hat.
I'm just moseying on just moving around everywhere.
And I bet because a bunch of high school coaches and college coaches take themselves like way too seriously.
Mhm.
I bet at some point somebody got stopped that wasn't supposed to be stopped and didn't have the right credentials or whatever.
Yeah.
And they probably threw a huge shit fit. And everybody's like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, I don't care. I'm getting paid $10 an hour or whatever it is. Like, this is just go, dude. I'm not stopping
yeah.
anyone.
Also, Jim, to your point of like looking confident, like we're it's I think it's one thing like we're a group of people, so they just assumed like, all right, this group of people is supposed to be here. But also, if you're not being a knucklehead and like trying to take a football helmet or a football or sit on the bench, like no one's gonna really pay attention to you anyway. So
Hey,
it was sweet
free.
though.
Oh, two things. Number one, you should have been rocking your podcast t-shirts that you could have got on the like ran on the field. You probably could have got ESPN commercial time for that. The other thing, and I've texted this to you in private, but on our drive back to Texas, Trey has a Nerdball podcast t-shirt on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where'd you get that from? It's like, oh, Lorenzo sent me a care package. Like, son of a bitch. I was promised when my house flooded, you told me, hey, don't worry about it. I'll send you some Perrysburg stuff so you're all geared out. That was 2 years ago.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry. You should have reminded me. That's your fault.
I did. And then you're like, oh, we don't do as much gear anymore as we did before.
That is definitely the case.
So
yeah. But
I'm stealing a polo.
I'll hook you up with polo.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys want to be twinsies? You and
No.
Ty? You and Ty?
Sure.
Twinsies?
No, we do need field passes though for the upcoming.
Oh,
game when
that was the
when
other
we're
thing
in
that,
town.
Tyler, you can. Did you buy
We
your
need-
ticket yet, Lorenzo, for the reunion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get the early bird pricing?
$6.
You
I
probably
did get the early
didn't
bird
you?
pricing. Tyler, did
Damn
you buy
you.
a ticket yet?
We all did, yes. So we all
Okay.
committed.
right.
We're all invested in this.
Because
told Heather-
Lindsay Nicholson was worried that she's like, I don't think Tyler bought it yet. I just saw her last week. I was like, I'll make sure. I'll talk to him.
Yeah, you can update her, or if
Okay.
she's a friend of the pod, she'll know. I guess
Probably
I
not. Unless I specifically tag her, hey, listen to this episode.
Listen to this episode
at
and
minute
find out
52.
if you have
But
three more.
stop right here
sales.
because we do have a workaround for something. So
Uh-oh.
on there, it's like buy your ticket and then buy a ticket for the football game.
Mhm.
we
Trey,
all immediately
Tyler, and I
text each other
all
and we say,
decided that you're getting us in for free to the
Yes.
football game.
I could probably do that.
"So
Yeah. I'll just walk behind you in a polo.
What it depends on what time you guys are coming.
You
If you
tell
get
us
there-
what time to be there.
If you get there early enough, I can make like if you get there 5:30, I can probably make it happen. If you get there later than that, I got things I gotta do. So I won't be available to like meet you at the gate.
Okay.
We need credentials. That's all Jim's saying. We need
I,
credentials.
I can definitely get you in there.
Do I need to reach out to Sugar Ray? Is that who makes this all happen?
No, I'll be fine. Well, we're also you guys get to be up in the top of the Huskinson Center. There's gonna be food, and snacks, and stuff up there.
Are we disqualified from that though? Because we don't have an actual ticket to the game.
No, they're not going to be like, let me see your phone and look at the ticket. They're going to
okay,
be like,
good. Because
yeah,
they won't find a ticket on my phone.
no.
What type of food do you guys think is going to be the buffet for the reunion?
I don't know, it's a good question. I don't know. But
I don't
speaking
either.
of food, make sure when you guys do go to the game, get some fried bologna sandwiches.
That sounds
those are
disgusting.
those are the bomb, dude. I mean, the cheeseburgers and stuff are pretty good too. But if you meet me at halftime, I might be able to get you some free food if you guys are still there. So
The
I always get
differential of
stuff.
answers there is Lorenzo, you're like, oh, these are great. Jim's like, that sounds disgusting. Oh,
Who are we
Anyways.
playing? Northview?
Northview, yeah.
it's a bad night.
How
for
at
Northview.
Northview?
They're not very good.
Bulletin
Oh.
board material right there.
Hopefully by then we're getting our running game on track. And we got 2 games to get our running game on track here. And
Who do you guys have next?
Southview. Yeah.
Oh, it's a bad night for
Southview, Clay, Northview. And then we got a
When do you
tough
play
stretch
Finley and
to
Whitmer
end it.
and all that?
We got a tough stretch to end the year. Whitmer, Finley, Springfield, then Anthony Wayne.
I saw that. I think the Finley quarterback, he had a crazy ass night.
Douchebag.
Yeah.
A big, probably douchebag, but the kid threw for like 4 or 5 TDs. Like opening night, he had like 400 yards, 300 yards, 4 or 5 TDs.
Perrysburg's quarterback is a junior,
Mhm.
and he looked pretty good in the one highlight that I saw of him. I think it was the first game of the season when they won by
St. Francis.
No,
Jim,
no,
the
or
Fin-
one then.
Jim, the Finley quarterback, is interested in Penn State. Did you know that?
He'll never.
He has
make
an
it.
offer. He has an offer from.
He has an
Penn
offer
State.
from a lot of schools.
He has an offer from Georgia, Michigan. He's
I
a
tell you what,
legit
when I-
4-star.
when
To
I
go to Georgia, sink
I-
their program.
when I coached the JV team, he was the JV quarterback then, and we only lost 14-13. So
So you held him.
I did.
There's tape on how to beat this kid.
I do want to go back to, I like how you 3 collectively said I would get you in the game without including me in this.
Correct.
This is an immediate response to: are we buying the ticket to the game? And we all
Because
decided
we
no.
all had,
Lorenzo's
because
getting
you have to
us in the
fill out,
game.
you have to put your name and like how you want to be addressed, like all this other shit when you purchase it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, click here for the ticket. And I need that $8. I mean, come on, man.
You got to upgrade. So you got to upgrade to first class. You need those $8.
Yeah.
There's also a section. I don't mean to be mean, but there's also a section about how much are you donating to Perrysburg, And I said, Trey, what are we doing here? And Trey just put the LOL emoji.
That's on every time you
know.
buy something. Yeah, it's on there.
It was just funny.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, good.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I think you guys will like it. I'll definitely, as long as it's only you 3, I can definitely,
It'll only be us 3.
I can get you in, and I can get you on the field too. I mean, every game
I haven't
there's
seen-
alumni
I'm
that
excited.
gets on the field.
I haven't seen the is it Huskinson?
Huskinson.
I haven't seen that built. I saw the locker room briefly. Am I frozen?
Jim,
No,
do you
you're
still
not.
have your
You're not.
do you still have your varsity jacket, Jim? Oh,
No,
there
he's
he
good.
is again.
There we
Is
go.
it?
I
Jim,
saw
do you have your
the
varsity jacket.
no.
Damn it.
I don't know where mine's at. I think my parents
Oh.
have it.
I did find our program from when we graduate, our graduation program.
Yeah.
Our friends, even the smart ones, like
Oh yeah,
got
you showed
honor roll.
yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
mean? What do you mean?
Like, so
He-
there's like National Honor Society. There's
Yeah.
like all this other type of shit. And I went through it and like, I'm like, oh, I'm sure Sparks was something. His thing was just a little dot for honor roll. And I was
Okay.
like, okay, Irwin, just a little dot. But like a quarter of the class had like all these like extra marks and all this shit for like National Honor Society, all this.
Mm,
None of our friends had anything like that.
I think that a lot of that like has changed as far as the percent or like what you want to achieve. Excuse me, as a high schooler, like Sparks was smart, but I don't think he cared enough to be like, hey, I'm taking all AP classes. Like he was a smart kid, and Irwin, the same thing. He was just a knucklehead, but again, I don't think he's like And maybe there are more AP classes offered now, or there's more a stress and emphasis on that, like to do these classes, and there wasn't back 20 years ago. I don't know.
But
That's
yeah, I
probably
was
true. I think it's true.
yeah, because even George, I thought George would be like all honor roll and all this shit. No.
Yeah.
Jim's just murdering all of our friends right now on podcasts.
I was shocked
All these
because
idiots.
I felt like
Stupid
they were
morons.
much smarter than I was. And at the
I
end of the day,
expected so
we're all
much
the
better
same
from
on that
all of
damn
you.
sheet.
I sucked at school, man. I'll tell
Dude,
this.
it was
Sucks.
it was funny though, because Jim sent that. I think Trey was on that group text too, but Trey was just circling names. He's like, "Who the fuck is this person?"
Yeah. Lorenzo, if you want us to talk to your team about the importance of school before the game, school fucking sucks, guys.
I would like to show you guys around, but it would be nice to be able to get you in a locker room. But I think my coach would probably frown upon just some random dudes in the football
Random
locker room.
dudes. The
Well, to
blood,
them,
sweat,
to them,
tears
not
that
to-
we put into that program.
Oh my
Tyler
god!
can show his scar.
Still
Yeah.
got it. You guys,
'Cause
wanna
I-
see it?
I would
it's a
like to-
scar.
There it is. There it is.
I still got it. Yeah, it's a scar.
I gave
You
up
had a major
everything for that
surgery on your
program.
shoulder. The scar just isn't going to go
Oh,
away.
shit. Yeah, it's a scar.
Oh,
I gave up so
Sorry.
much for that program. Left it all on the field.
that's bullshit.
But I'm still there. I'm still there doing it. Tyler, I ask you every year, and you say no.
You did.
No.
You didn't ask me this year though. I think this is the first time ever you didn't ask me.
In
And I
like
was like,
10 years.
I was like, it's about time.
You guys want to hear something crazy?
Do we have
If
a
I ever
choice?
get fired from my job, Lorenzo, I'll seriously think about coaching.
Make
How
that
about
big.
I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
So my daughter's cheering for fourth grade boys tackle football, right? And we've had 2 games. The first game they won 46-0. Second game 42-0.
Solid.
We get up by 20. It's a running clock.
Mhm.
And you can tell by my forehead, I did not do a good job of putting sunscreen on. Yeah. So they've got like 3 kids. Last year we had 1 kid that could ball. This year we've got like 3 kids that are just they'll go one-on-one and
Athletes.
just straight up like stiff arm the guy through and like yeah, like they are cutting back and they're doing all this type of shit. And it's funny because it's 4th grade. So like all their kickoffs are pretty much like onside kicks anyways.
Mhm.
But they've got one play that they'll do because like everybody lines up. They have like a legit kicker and he'll do a line drive like right at the group of guys. And they're 4th graders. Like they're not expecting this. And it will hit off of them and like bounce right to like one of our, like we've got a couple onside kicks that way. We actually kicked one off deep and recovered it.
You
the
guys
dude
do
kicked it to, like,
kickoffs at 4th grade?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we don't even do that.
He kicked it to like the 30. Like this kid booted it and it just went over everybody. And
There's no kickoffs at freshman level anymore.
No kickoffs. And
They
JV,
just get the ball.
you just get the ball in the whatever 25 or something. And JV, you can have kickoffs if you want to, but you have to. Both coaches have to agree. And we don't have.
Oh
we
my
haven't had
gosh.
kickoffs in JV in 5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
participation trophies.
Well, it's a couple things. Kind of like similar to rules in college and NFL changing on moving kickoffs, and there's a lot more touchbacks, that kind of stuff. So we just decided, we being the state, I guess, decided, hey, we're just not going to do it a freshman. It's hard to you can't practice it as a JV team. Like you can have, there's no practice time for JV guys. So it's one of those things too, where I'm never, like when I was the coach, I'm like, yeah, I'm never agreeing to do kickoffs because.
But aren't a lot of times though, okay, devil's advocate on this part of it though.
Sure.
But like, aren't a lot of the kids that are varsity special teamers though, that they're playing in JV? So wouldn't that be like?
No, we have. Well, it depends on the school, but we have quite a few varsity guys on our special teams.
So they just play the entire time.
There's a lot of them that do, yeah.
Okay.
And hopefully, I mean, we're obviously trying to get to the point where we don't have to do that, but the future looks bright because we have over 50 or over kids in freshmen.
Oh, that's
same
great.
for 8th grade and same for 7th grade.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
So, and Mateo's the big gold program has over 90 kids in it. So,
What's
Dude.
Mateo's stats at? What's he at? Like 6'2"? What's he
Not yet.
weighing now?
not yet.
How many pancakes?
He did tell me he hasn't had a game yet, but he did tell me he's like, Dad, I ran somebody over in practice.
Hell yeah.
Dude, so when we were going
Yeah.
through we were going through this stuff and I found that class program, there was also a Bowling Green Sentinel preview from 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like Urban Meyer is taking on Lou Holtz when Bowling Green travels to South Carolina to like do this type of shit. And then it was old Wild Bill's first year, or no, not Bill. Who's Frank? Whatever. Frank's first year. Raj. Yeah.
Raj.
It was his first year. So it was like unknown Perrysburg with their new coach. And he looks like such a tool. And his little picture with his Buzz crew cut looking ass.
He is a friend of the show. So
Oh.
I just kind of we don't have any of those.
Is he still in Perrysburg or did he go somewhere
No,
else now?
he went back to Elmwood. He is I think he's a principal there.
Okay.
At one of the schools. I'm not sure what school, but
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
But-
been a while since I've seen him around.
But yeah, man, it was kind of it was trippy to see some of that. You know, it's 22 years ago. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, this was crazy. So
now
Time.
look at us. Now look at us.
Yeah.
Trying to get out of buying an $8 football ticket because you know someone on the coaching staff.
oh, this money will go directly to help the school. No, thank you.
Don't
I
worry,
can
we'll,
get it
we'll,
for free.
we'll buy plenty of 50-50. We'll support the school system.
What's
that
the
way.
alcohol situation like?
In the stadium, there's zero. I mean, feel
There's
free
no like
before.
private suite.
There are parents who hang out. I'm sure hang out in there's pretty good tailgates out there. I can hook you up with the 12th Man
yeah.
Club and you can hang out with them.
Jim, that has changed. Is I've heard the tailgates can get a little rowdy as opposed to when we were in school, the parents would just show up lit. But now I think they actually go to the pregame to the
I
tailgate area.
can neither confirm nor deny. I've never been a part of one of those tailgates. I'm just assuming, maybe
Hey,
that's bad.
I'm
on
not
my
the
part.
cap.
I'm not throwing Perrysburg under the bus. I specifically heard Central St. John's gets rowdy ahead of games. That's what I've heard. So
We had a pregame concert.
Police,
I think
though,
last year.
if they're just letting people drink in the tailgate,
I don't know. We can't
They
confirm nor
should.
deny.
What'd you say, Jimmy?
I said tip of the cap to the police if they're
Harken
If they're just-
back to an old segment. All right.
if they're letting people drink
Yeah.
on school property.
I
The way
think it's
it
one of
should
those
be.
things. I think it's one of those things like if it is happening, I can't say it is or isn't. If it is, it's one of those like pour this into this cup as opposed to like here, hold this bottle of beer,
And you know what else it probably is? The nicer looking the tailgate is, the less that I bet like police will come and like walk around and see what's going on. Like
Yeah.
if you have like real tents up and you have like a food spread versus just like a case of beer in the trunk of your car and dudes are hanging around the trunk of the car.
Yeah. There's some good ones. There's some tents and tables. The 12th Man Club always has a real nice looking setup. I've never been over there, but yeah, let's check it out.
Might have to check it out.
All right, guys. Well, I got Memorial Day festivities to attend.
Well, it's Labor Day, so you're a
Or
little
sorry,
late.
Labor Day.
A little late
That's what I
for
meant.
those.
That's what I meant.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, we're back on today, at least. We'll see what the rest of these coming months hold.
It doesn't sound too positive or
Well, I'm
reassuring.
just
Mondays
saying,
are tough. Mondays are the busiest for me, like that I have stuff. Kids.
I will be honest and say baseball season is ending here in another 2 weeks, so my schedule will get a little easier. Where before, like, yeah, every day but Monday was tough. So maybe we'll figure out a different day. That's what I'm saying.
Sundays always work good, but I have Sunday nights would always work good, but that's when we have our coaches meetings. Unless you guys don't mind doing it at like 9:00 at night.
I could do that.
Yeah, we could do
'Cause
that.
it's only
Sundays.
8:00 for me, probably. But
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
All right, guys. Well, as always, thanks, George.
Thanks,
Thanks,
George.
George.
As always.
This has been 3 Different Dads.
If there's nothing, that's a saving.